Dream. That's a powerful word. You'll get knocked down many times chasing your dreams. You will feel like you don't have the energy to get back up. You don't have the strength to get back up. You will feel like giving up is the only option. When you're hit, when you've been knocked down by life, that's when it's time to hit back. That's when it's time to hit back. Many people get hit by life, but they never hit back.
Are you going to stay down, or are you going to decide to get back up? It takes courage. It takes confidence. It takes a strong mindset to get back up when nobody believes in you.
There's a lion inside all of us, but some people decide to never let that lion out. Many people keep that lion locked in his cage. Are you hungry for that dream? Are you willing to fight for that dream?
Let the lion out. Get hungry for your dream. Go hunt your dream. Talking about that dream won't take you far. Working will.
Doubters will tell you to be realistic. Haters will tell you to quit.
You are the only one who can go and get it. It's your dream. No one will chase it for you. No one will hunt for you. No one will support your dream but you.
There's a quote that goes, everyone wants to eat, but a few are willing to hunt. Everyone wants to succeed, but few are willing to put in the work required.
Stop limiting yourself. You can make your dream into a reality, but it will only take one person to believe that it's possible. It will only take one person to put in the work. That person is you.
There's plenty of humans before you who have accomplished big things, who are living their dream life. They've done it. That is proof you can too. It is proof that you can live your dream if you really want it.
You are the most dangerous enemy to your dreams because only you decide when to quit and give up on your dreams. Only you decide when to kill these dreams. You're more powerful than you even know. You can change the world with your dream. But it only requires you to get out of your comfort zone and unleash the inner lion. It requires you to let the lion out of its cage. It requires you to chase your dreams no matter what.
If you have a weak mindset, if you're afraid of taking risks, you will never get far in life. You will never get that dream with a weak mindset.
Create a mindset that keeps you moving even when others quit.
Life is unpredictable. It's full of surprises. You might be closer than you think. Your dream can become a reality if you refuse to quit.
Be like a lion. Never back down from the challenges you face. A lion never stops chasing its prey until it catches it. You never stop chasing your dream until you live it.
Dream big and never let small minds convince you that your goal is out of reach. It may be out of reach for them, but you know better. Believe in yourself.
If you are in the way of my goals and dreams, I suggest you move.
Good evening. Good evening. If you can hear me clearly, please just type in yes.
Brother.
If you all can hear me clearly, just type in yes. So, thank you all for taking your time to attend today's class, today's review. Welcome to today's trade review and plan for the 24th of October 2019. So, As always, we're going to start off with our news release, scheduled news release for tomorrow. Excuse me. Forex Factory. So looking at tomorrow, we have the British Prime Minister is going to be speaking. No, not tomorrow is 24th. Yes, sorry. Tomorrow is going to be a little bit of a high impact news. Tomorrow is going to be a little bit of a high impact news tomorrow. We have ECB monetary policy statement coming in by 12:45, and their news report coming in by, that's the press conference coming in by 1:30. That's going to create some serious fireworks tomorrow. So that's just the major thing we have. And like I've said, by the weekend, the daylight saving will start. What does that daylight saving mean? That daylight saving means that your chart opening time will be shifted forward by 1 hour. So your opening day will no longer be 10, it will be 11, and your 4-hour candle counting will shift. And so instead of your 4-hour candle being from 10, it will move forward to 11. So we need to be aware of that. So that aside, we're looking at the major news tomorrow is going to be on this the euro monetary policy statement. So we need to be watchful for that. So starting off our daily charting, we always start with the dollar index. We always start with the dollar index. So looking at the dollar index, we can see there's a bit of rejection into this area. This area is only visible on the lower time frame. That's what it's reacting from here. So this is a long upper wick, which might point to a little bit of further drop on the dollar index. So we go to our charts to see how this looks like as this dollar index, how it looks like on our chart. So looking at the dollar index, we can see that area I was talking of. This is where it is reacting from on the lower time frame. But there seems to be a rising trend line here, as you can see. So it's finding support there. So now this is the storyline. If price breaks this to the downside, the audio is fluctuating. Excuse me, let me see if I can switch. Let's see if I can switch IB network. Let me switch to my alternate network. Excuse me, trying to switch my network. Somebody said the network is a little bit somebody said my network is, the audio is cracking up. Okay, trying to connect. I just hold on a bit. Let me switch my network. Hello, how is it now? Can you guys still hear me clearly? Hello, can you hear me clearly? Okay. So the scenario here is if price breaks this trend line and retests this area, then you may see a move to the top side, or it may rally up back here. But as long as the dollar index does not go back above this shaded zone, there's a potential that the dollar index might still drop to the downside. As long as dollar index does not go back above this zone, and that area is between 87.55 to 87.65. If it doesn't go back above here, it might continue to the downside. But if it does this, then you might see it move higher to this area. So that's the scenario of the dollar index. And as you know, the dollar index gives direction to an extent to the Euro USD. So the next pair we're looking at is gold. Looking at gold, gold has been like ranging. Like I said, this major candle is where he has been ranging in between. He has been ranging in between this major candle, this single candle here. So if you look at this pair on the intraday list, you can see anytime it comes in here, it gets rejected. Then anytime it comes down towards this area, it bounces back up. So now the question is, it's still ranging. It has no directional bias for now. You just need to know where the top is and where the bottom is and take the trades out as they come. That's just the scenario for now. There's no basic trend on gold. There's just no basic trend. This place is acting as resistance. This lower area is acting as support, and then there's a rising trend line. So that is it for gold. So the next pair we're going to look at is USD CHF. So we'll look at the USD CHF from the daily point of view. So looking at the USD CHF, like I pointed out on Sunday night, that this place might act as a bit of support for the USD CHF. So as you can see, and it's playing out. So now the storyline is this. If you switch to your line chart, you'll find out that there's something here. There's structure here. Kind of like a nadir as a neckline. I call it a neckline. So neckline is V neckline. So if you go back to your daily, you find out that price is approaching that area, although it is at these zones first. So you now see it's a kind of a zone. We have this area and this area. So now the question is, excuse me, the question now is this: will this area hold price to send it lower? So to find that out, price is already at that area. Let me switch to daily. Switch my daily chart so I can point it out. Okay, I think on this chart I used only the week low. We have here as level of resistance, and we have this upper area. So if we go down now to our intraday chart, The storyline here is go down now to, sorry. We'll go down now to intraday. The question now is what will price do at this level? If it gets rejected from here, as if it can't break here, then you might see it drop lower. But if it breaks above here and this place acts as support, then it might run up to this area. If it gets rejected from here, then the only time you'll be safe to take a shot is, you can take a shot if it comes back. Well, let me explain how this will go. If it breaks above into this zone, that's this area now, that is 99.10. That's here at this level. If it closes, if you get a good 4-hour close above it and it serves as support, then you know it might take out this area here. But if it gets rejected from this area, that's 99.30. If it gets rejected from 99.30 and starts dropping, the only time a safe sell, a short trade will be safe on this pair is if it closes back below 99.08. Because it can come back to 99.08 and take out this zone to the top side. So that is what you need to be aware of on this pair. But for now, it has got a little bit of a challenge. Now the question is, will it break above or continue lower? The daily close has a bullish bias, so we can't see until tomorrow. So the next pair we'll be looking at is Euro USD. We're looking at the Euro USD from the daily point of view. Well, there is something here. This place is from a daily, from a 4-hour time frame. So if we look at this pair now, this daily close is bullish. Why? This is an anchor candle. This is a bullish anchor candle. So I can see this is the support zone. You get price broke below it, but closed back into the zone. So by mere fact of this, that means this is a false break. So on this pair, and you know that the dollar index, if you remember, the dollar index is at, you see this is the situation on the dollar index. Then if you look at the Euro USD, this is the situation on the Euro USD. Remember, I always say the dollar index to a large extent determines what happens on the Euro USD. So as you can see, so there might be, so if you look at this, and then if you look at this formation here, price is moving away from it. Although there's a falling trend line here, kind of like a channel. Price needs to break above it to continue further up. So if that happens tomorrow, then there is a possibility that price may continue higher. So you just might see something like this. If a pullback acts as support, you might see it move to the top side. So but for now, this pair still has a bullish bias. Next pair we'll look at is the Euro GBP. Looking at the Euro GBP, looking at the Euro GBP on the daily point of view, let me get rid of all this stuff. This is a bearish close. But prior to this, we have a bullish candle. The major thing here is that the trend on this pair is still to the slightly tilted to the downside. Slightly tilted to the downside. So we have this range top here and this range bottom here. They've already tested the to the downside. So this pair more like a range, but there is still this long-term trend line, I think. Let me see. I think it's on this pair. There's still this long-term trend line here that is still standing. Yep, I think so. I think, was it from the weekly? Let me see. There's a trend line. I remember there's a trend line here. From this point up to this point. Yep. This trend line is still holding. This trend line is still holding. This is a weekly trend line. So if you go back down to the daily, see, they're taking their time to decide if they will break this level or if they will not. As you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 days are this trend line. The consolidation is much. They're supposed to have decided if they will break the trend line or if they would not. So looking at this scenario now, we just need to wait and see what happens. So if we look at the intraday chart, there are some levels, there's a falling trend line. Then there are some levels of support that price needs to take out to continue to the downside. As you can see, they tried this low. That was what resulted in the move up yesterday with the news. So now the situation is this. On this pair, it may continue to the downside. There's a possibility it may continue to the downside because that's the primary trend. But if you see something like this, then you know it's going to move higher. But I am of the opinion that they may try to spike low to take out this low properly and move back up. So that's just what you need to be aware of, because tomorrow there's going to be a news release tomorrow. So now the question is, those that have been selling, will they start taking profits? Because some people have been selling, they might start taking profit. And if they start taking profit, price will go the opposite direction. So that's just what we need to be aware of, because some people have been selling. The question is, would they continue shorting the pair? So that's what we'll see tomorrow. The next pair we're going to look at is the GBP USD. So looking at the GBP USD, well, this pair didn't play a good game today. It did a bearish move, but this low, there was this spike low here. Let me get it properly. That was where yesterday's candle closed. It went below it, then came back up. So now there is a possibility they might move higher on this pair. There's a little bit large possibility that they may move to the top side, which might mean running back up to this height here. I have a fib. Let me remove this fib. So looking at the way they closed, you just might see something like this. I'll pull back into this area and they'll move higher. That is what might happen tomorrow. Because since they did not go down, that means they are going to move up to target this area. You need to see them spike into this area to clear stops tomorrow. So that's just what we'll need to watch out for tomorrow and see how it plays out. So most of these levels are not so valid. And I think this is still valid because it did not close above it. So this neckline here is still valid. Since it didn't close above it, it's still holding. So that's the scenario for now. So the next pair, so there's a possibility they might move to the top side. Because if they drop into this zone and it acts as support, they're moving back up. But if you see a break below this zone, something like this, then they're moving to the downside. The next pair we're going to be looking at is the GBP CHF. So looking at the GBP CHF on the daily, well, this pair below this area, it has been consolidating, as you can see. They're seriously consolidating, and this is the range candle here. Excuse me. There's the range candle top. Range candle top. And the low of the range candle bottom. So now the question is, which of these areas is going to break first? So what you may see tomorrow is a possibility this may happen. What you may see tomorrow is a spike above this high here. If they spike above it, then they are going to close back down inside. Then we might see further weakness. Let's see how it's looking like on the weekly. Last week's candle is still bullish. Last week's candle is still bullish. So they might try to target here, but let's see how tomorrow goes. So if you look at this on the intraday chart, we could see it's kind of like in a sideways move. Kind of like in a sideways move. So if it takes out this high here, it might continue to the upside. If it takes out this high here, something like this, and we may move higher. But I'm of the opinion that they will try to spike this high here. That's where I'm looking at. Because those that are already selling, they have their stops here. And those that have a buy stop, it's already located here. So they need to spike it to actually start coming down. So until they take out this level and close back inside, the sell might not be so fully for now. That's just the way I see it. So the next pair we'll be looking at is the USD-JPY. Looking at the USD-JPY, it closed bullish, closed slightly bullish. Oh, this pair is like ranging. This pair is like ranging. This is the range candle here. This green anchor candle here, as you can see, try to go above, it dropped. The open price, like I always say, an anchor candle, the open price of an anchor candle is always support. As on any time frame you find, especially if it's on a 4-hour time frame and above. The anchor candle's open price, if it's a bullish anchor candle, the open price is always going to be supported. As you can see, at no time did price close below 108.38. They made sure even if they went below it, they closed back above. So now the question is, what will happen when they come to this top area? So to find that out, we'll go to our intraday chart. Looking at our intraday chart, excuse me. This is where price is now. It seems to have had a bit of a struggle here. So now the question is, if it breaks above here, if we see a break above here to the top side, a pullback, then it might move higher. But if it gets rejected from here, this area has to give way for price to move lower. So that's just the scenario. And also there is a trend line here. See this trend line? Let me trade properly. There's a trend line here from the daily. There's a trend line here from the daily. So that's where price is now. That's where price is. So it doesn't look like a false break because price has closed back above it, but there's a structure here that is giving it a bit of a challenge. So price needs to clear that structure to continue moving back up. But I'm seeing something like a flagging pattern. So I can't actually say for this pair for now. So the next pair we're going to look at is Euro Yen. So looking at the Euro Yen, let me get rid of these two. Get rid of this two. So looking at the Euro Yen, this seems to be like his range. You can see it touched this lower end, which is support here, and then it bounced. So we'll look at this intraday chart now. That's where it is. So now the question is this, and there's also a trend line break on this pair. There's also a trend line break on this pair. The channel, you see the channel. There's a channel break to the top side. So now the question is, there's a serious battle here. As long as this pair stays below 121.35, it might continue to the downside. But if you see something like this, then it might move back up. But if it closes back down here, gets rejected from here, then you might see it come down to this area. That's also the scenario on this pair. That's the scenario for this pair. But the daily close has a bullish bias, so we might see a retest of this high, or a spike above its prior high that it made here. Then if that If they don't maintain momentum above that area, then they might come down to the downside. So that's the scenario on that pair. The next pair we're going to look at is the pound yen. So looking at the pound yen from the same tooth, it's like all the yen pairs have the same formation. The same formation. They're all holding the same formation. So we might see a little bit move to the top side on this band, as you can see, but there is a trend line here on the 4 hour. There's a 4 hour trend line. So for it to continue top, it needs to take out the trend line, find support here, then move higher. That's the scenario on this pair. That's just what we have on this pair for now. That's what we have on this pair for now. So, because looking at it on the daily, it has this a bullish close. Except it drops back below here tomorrow, then it may continue down. And the next pair we're going to look at is the AUD-USD. So looking at the AUD-USD, well, there's a flagging pattern away from this highlighted area, but there's support here. There's support here. So let's look at this from the daily. So it's below a resistance structure. There's a possibility we might see further weakness on this pair. There's a possibility. So this is a scenario on this pair now. If it rallies into here and gets rejected, as long as it doesn't hold above this level here, I can't get the level here. Why can't I get this level? Above 68.58. As long as it doesn't close back below 68.58, it may get something like this. But if it rallies here and gets rejected, then you may see price drop. I was looking at the daily close. The daily close, although it has a wick to the downside, but it's below or resistance structure. So the next pair we're going to be looking at is the Euro AUD. So let's look at the Euro AUD. Well, this pair is just sideways. This pair is not giving a clear bias for now. Not giving. This trend line has broken into the downside, but the challenge there is support here, and that's what's holding it. If you switch to your line chart, it becomes very, very evident. That's what is holding it. So now, this pair I just can't see. I just can't see for this pair. It might still move up to the top side. It just might still try to rally up because this low held. And since this low held, there's a possibility you might see it rallying back up. So for this pair, it might do something like this. Then I just can't see. I can't see for this pair. It's not very clear. There's no clear directional bias on it because this pair has a mind of its own sometimes. So the next pair we'll be looking at is USD CAD. So looking at USD CAD, like I said, the USD CAD, its target is this trend line. And where is this trend line coming from? Coming from down here. So you can see. So that's its target, the weekly trend line. And so it most likely might still continue dropping until it gets to this area. And if you notice, this area lines up with this support structure here. Let me get rid of this. With this area here. With this area here. So that's what you might see. You see the confluence here. So that might just be its destination. So let's look at this from the daily. Let me get this weekly set up properly. Get this weekly set up properly. Trend line holder. Let me retrade. Let me retrade properly. Let me draw this properly. So there's a situation here. There's a situation here. It might be coming down here. And if you look closely, this first level has been taken out. So I could just remove that. So this is where it's coming to. And if you notice, there's a channel. You see the channel. The channel, let me get rid of this also. There's a channel here. There's a channel here. So most likely this is the destination. It's just its destination. So if you ask me, this is where it's coming to. This is where it's coming to, into this area. Hello, can you guys still hear me? Hello? Hello, can you guys still hear me? Okay. It seems as if my internet disconnected. So basically on this page, it might still drop. But if it touches here the first time, you might see a bounce. That's just it. So that's it for this pair. If you ask me, that's it for this pair. It may still drop out there. Let me look at for one of my students that does this NASDAQ, these indices. Well, at least this is what we have on the NASDAQ. At least he got saved today. He took a shot around somewhere here. I told him the shot will not work. But I'm seeing it move high. And you see it broke back above here. This is a retest. So sometimes you need to know what a retest looks like. This is a retest. They did as if they were selling down to that level. Then they continued back up. So now they are this area. If this area holds as resistance, they may go back down. But they might just break it to the top side. So that is it for today. Thank you all for taking your time to attend. The video will be posted on the YouTube channel. The channel is Plan Your Trade, Trade Your Plan. The chart will be posted to the Instagram page and Facebook. That's at Great White FX. So thank you all for taking your time to attend, and I wish you all a beautiful night's sleep and a blessed trading day ahead. Thank you.